you've been doing something else, and it's something different, and that's something that can give you an edge.
Rise up for the revolution. Rise up to the fight. One love, one life for the revolution. Rise up and unite.
Hello, badass Beyonces. Don't know where that came from, but I'm going with it. I'm Lauren Evans, and I am a badass coach helping women be seen and heard in the workplace so that you can unleash your badass career. Today, I'm going to be talking about how you can climb the corporate ladder without a degree. Bum, bum, bum. I finished high school, so I'm super excited, went to uni, hated it just because it wasn't the right time for me. But then I just left home and went on like this crazy soul searching journey basically, and I learned so much on that journey, which lasted for several years. I ended up in far north Queensland and then Northern Ireland and all over the world. Anyway, on those journeys, I had some pretty shitty jobs. I had some pretty crazy times, and I had some pretty poor times as well. But I did also end up getting, climbing up the corporate ladder. Now, it took time, and it took a lot of different approaches, which maybe would have been different if I had a degree. And now I do have lots of qualifications and stuff, but I've done them while I've been working. Now, there's pros and cons to all of the different life paths you can take. But what I would like to send the message today is that you don't need to have a degree to be successful in life. However, it is really helpful if you do have it. But also, the time when I may have been living at home with my parents and doing uni, I was out there really living life. And I mean living life, and it made me wise beyond my years from a very young age. I was managing teams of people from the age of 21. So I have a lot of experience because of it, a lot of life experience, a lot of business experience, and I have failed and picked myself up more times than I probably should have. So that's why I want to share 4 tips with you on if you were in that situation and it's not something that you're going to do in the near future and you want to climb the corporate ladder, here is what you can do. My first tip is extrapolate. So on your resume, in interviews, at work, focus on the things that you know. Now, I'm absolutely categorically not telling you to lie, because that will get you fired very quickly. What I'm telling you to do is to have a look at what you've done. So if you have been doing some kind of shit kicker job instead of going to uni, or if you've been through some like pretty dark times, or if you have just been chilling at home surfing the internet, whatever you've been doing with your time, you've learned something. And I want you to take that and put it into business speak. So if you've been on, if you're like, okay, worst case scenario, you've been on Instagram for 4 years, right? You know social media. You potentially know branding. You potentially know influencing, and you might have an idea on maybe how some of the social algorithms work. You may even have a bit of an idea on how some ads work. So spend a little bit of time getting to know that more. You might be able to do like a really quick online course, order a book, listen to some audio books. Just take whatever subject that is and just extrapolate it. Learn more of it. Then put it on your resume. Right? So put social media, and because you've extrapolated a little bit more. So for example, say you've learned some stuff, and then you started an Instagram account and you did some like advertising and influencing or whatever. You can say, I know how to do this. And then you can talk about it, and you do know how to do it. You don't have a degree in it, but you still know how to do it. And then grab lots of different things like that. You might have, I just spat. You might have like, I got a bit excited about this stuff. So you might have like, yeah, 5, 6, 7 different topics from your life that you can take and just, you know, it might be a little bit of something and then you just help it grow, right? And then you have a thing. So instead of saying, I sat at my parents' house for 4 years on social media, you say, I know social media, I know marketing, I know influencing, I know brand, I know Facebook ads, I know Instagram ads, I know how to blog, whatever. Grow it. And then it's something, it's a skill, okay? So that's the first thing, is extrapolate. Now, the second thing is package yourself up. Now, I do have another video. The previous one is on how to package yourself up at work. So definitely give that a listen. But basically, it's about packaging up what you're putting down and being able to self-promote yourself in the workplace in a non-dicky way. You'll hear more about that if you haven't watched the other video. But yeah, so you need to be able to promote yourself, because there is still this, rightfully earned, idea that people have. If you have a degree or a double degree or a master's or whatever, people assume that you know the information, which first of all isn't always the case, by the way. But yeah, people who have earned degrees have put a lot of time and effort into it and have learned a lot of great information, don't get me wrong. But there's an assumption that comes with it. A lot of the time. So you don't have that. You're starting from a step back. So you need to overcome that. And this is where you can end up sometimes stepping more forward, is because you're actually trying to sort of make up for this all the time, but you end up really excelling because you're constantly needing to communicate your skill set. You're constantly needing to show your value, to demonstrate your value. And that's something that everyone in the corporate world especially should get absolutely used to. This is what you need to do all the time. You cannot expect people to see or understand your value. You need to constantly communicate that to people. Otherwise, you become irrelevant, right? So, package up what you're putting down. 3, put your hand up and keep it up. What I mean is get fucking involved. Don't just do your job. Get involved in communities, in committees, in projects, extracurricular stuff, whatever it is, put your hand up and keep it up. Throw yourself into stuff. Work it out later. Say, I'll do it and I'll work out how to do it later. Google is your best friend, by the way. So put your hand up and keep it up. So then you're visible, you're showing, you're learning new skills as well. So I've done loads of different extracurricular type projects that I've learned more than my entire career or any of the further education I've done. Some of the stuff has just been immeasurable. So put your hand up and keep it up. Offer to do things. Just get over any kind of fear that comes with that, or feelings that you're not worth it. Just put your hand up and work it out later. And 4 is draw on your life experience. So a little bit like the start where I said extrapolate from your life experience, but also aside from just the skill set, like I was kind of getting at the start, you've been doing something else. And it's something different. And that's something that can give you an edge, right? So for me, I was being a backpacker and in some pretty crazy situations, and ended up in Northern Ireland where I was managing people, and that was a whole new world, and really taught me beyond management. It taught me a lot about cultural differences. It taught me a lot about understanding people and understanding what motivates people. And a lot of the things that, a lot of the situations that I was in when I was backpacking and traveling and things, it was, and, in sketchy situations, if you're from, a bit of a dark background or whatever, you learn so much about reading and understanding people. Use those skills. Sometimes other people may not have those same skill sets. So that's something that gives you an edge and a difference. So really reflect on what you've learned from your life experience and take it and use it, because that is a huge tool that you can use, which can really help you excel in the workplace and especially in the corporate world. So just to recap, one was extrapolate from your skill sets that you've learnt from your whatever you've been doing. So extrapolate. Two is package yourself up. So package up what you're putting down. And three is put your hand up and keep it up. And four is draw on your life experiences. Those are, even if you do have a degree, those are tips which will get you so far in the workplace. So definitely recommend doing that. Give me a shout if you don't know how to do that, or if you try any of these tips and it works, please let me know. I want to hear about it. Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. And remember, no one is you, and that is your power.